Hi everyone, how is everyone doing today? I am Wendy Mooney-Smith and I am the owner of Mangados Muse in the Spiritual Soul Boutique located here in Franklin. I'm a sound healer, I'm a Reiki practitioner, I'm a yoga instructor, and I bring to you Wednesdays with Wendy a chance to educate and connect and form community. Today we are talking about sacred sounds, what you're not being told about sound healing, and a journey through these instruments. We're taking a restorative pause this week to explore the healing tools behind the sound baths. Hi, Miss Katrina. I knew you'd be on. Thank you for supporting. Love you, girl. And instead of talking deep, we're going to have a conversation about the various tools and the powers they possess, as well as the responsibility of the sound healer with their vibrational work. Okay, so we're stepping away from the shadows this week and into the sound. This week we're going to talk about this topic. Next week we are going to have a sound bath, and then we're going to roll back into the alchemy of the wound. I thought we needed a little bit of a break, stepping out of the shadows into the sound. And this segment, I want to focus on wonder and the healing tools I use to help guide you home to yourself this week. Yes. Okay, I'm just making sure. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, hun. Thanks for the gift. I got it on the door. You're amazing. I've just been running around today, so I'll connect with you soon. So I invite each of you on this topic to be curious, present, and open. But before we roll into this week's topic, I want to share last week's winner of this selenite crystal pyramid. It's gonna be a long session. Thank you, Jody Walker, for commenting, liking, and sharing. That's the key, guys. Help me grow so I can continue to bring sound to everyone. Jody won this pyramid here for sharing everything. Hi, Miss Nikki. Thank you for joining. And with that, for this week, if you comment, you like, and you share, you guys will register for the chance to win a 20-minute free complimentary sound session with me. It's a virtual session, so you can try it out. As you guys know, I'm offering all these virtual sessions on YouTube. So share, please. And if you missed today's session, you know you can rewatch or tune in to YouTube. Go to my page, mangadosmuse.com, and then Mangados Muse on YouTube. All right, so let's get into this, all right? So the concept of healing through frequency is growing almost daily. I bet you guys notice that you're seeing more articles on it, more people wanting to offer certifications. It's all over news, it's all over social media. How frequency is being used to help Alzheimer's patients, people with PTSD, psychological disorders, and they're also using frequencies to shrink tumors now. So Eastern medicine is starting to catch up a little bit, and it's very, very exciting. And it is so exciting to see more and more people do this. And they are open to the concept of stepping into this world of sound healing. So that's why I thought, you know what, let's talk about this, because it's getting bigger. And I thought we should take a break from the heavy and spend a moment. We're gonna pull back the curtains on all of what's going on behind me. I can't get it all in. There's a lot happening here. You should see my studio. Maybe I'll pan. There's stuff everywhere. It's chaos here, but I enjoy my organized chaos, right? To show you what is involved in sound healing and if it's right for you. Because honestly, while it's right for most people, it is not truly right for all people. And you're probably like, what? And we'll get into that. So first, the science behind the sound. If you guys know, I am a super nerd when it comes to science. It is true, I'm a super nerd. So sound healing works through frequency, vibration, and resonance, and the concept of entrainment. So if you guys remember from science class, what? I'm energy, you're energy, and energy can't be created or destroyed. I sound like Bill Nye the Science Guy. It can only be transferred. So this transfer of energy enters the nervous system and can affect the body, the mind, and actually your energetic field, your aura, for instance. So when sound touches the body, it's just not echoing in the ears, it speaks directly to the cells. It is true. I have a bowl behind me that's a 528 hertz bowl. And that has been shown to be the frequency of love, the frequency of miracles, and when we're talking science, where DNA repair can happen. So with these powerful frequencies, it bypasses words, and there it can actually stir up trauma. And if it's not done with intention, it can do harm when it's actually meant to heal. So my training, my practice, my theory, okay? This is me. There's a difference, I feel, between just being certified and spiritual embodiment. I dedicated 4 months immersed in this work through the Sound Healers Academy. Here we studied the science, the energy, and ethics of sound. So I was fully immersed. I wrote papers on it. I studied the bowls. I mean, it was a full immersion into all of these concepts when it comes to sound. And I'm not saying people can't get certified. Let's be perfectly clear in that. I'm just saying there's a difference between throwing yourself into it and doing it because it's the latest and greatest thing. I close my eyes and I get lost in the sound. It's spiritual embodiment that really motivates me to do what I'm doing, all right? So people have asked me, well, how often do you practice? Practically every day. At some point, I'm touching some instrument every day. My bowls I pretty much touch every day, except Sundays I try to take a day off because I will tell you, my arms should be ripped, like they're not really. Look at that, what's that? Don't even look at that. Okay, so I'm always swirling, I'm always using something, I'm always moving through it, okay? So saying that, I practice just about every day, some form, some facet. But my theory is that sound isn't just about playing. And this is where my point is. Let's see, what'd you say? I know exactly what you're saying. I took it, yes, yeah, exactly. So it's about passion too. I definitely think that goes into it. And it's about how the instruments affect the nervous system. It's about consent. It's about listening deeply to what someone needs. Sound is medicine. And like any medicine, it must be handled with care. And that there are some that may not benefit from this type of healing. Questions from your sound healer or your healer in general should be asked. I do an intake form, such as, do you have hearing aids? Do you have surgical implants? Do you have pacemakers? That's a big one. Are you pregnant? All of these things need to be considered when I'm practicing my sound. So, before we move more into the bowls, let's talk about some of the other instruments first, okay? And then we'll get into the bowls. So I want to talk about what I don't have. And you're like, why? Well, there's a reason why I don't have them. I want to talk about, first and foremost, gongs. Just like you wouldn't take any pill from anybody, let's try that again. Just like you wouldn't take any pill, maybe you would, I don't know, maybe you would. I would not take a pill from any bottle. Maybe not from anybody either, unless it was my doctor. You're not going to just say that sound is safe for every person. The work is subtle, it is sacred, and it is powerful. For example, many of you have asked, why don't you have a gong? I love gongs. They're magnificent. They are fantastic, but they're not for everyone, and certainly not for somebody navigating trauma without proper guidance. If you are using a gong with somebody with PTSD, it can seriously overwhelm the nervous system and reactivate a fight or flight response in them. So in addition, women, the science is going back and forth on this. They have found that in women that are in their first trimester, sound from a gong can be very unsettling, uncomfortable, and they're not 100% sure whether or not it's going to cause damage to the fetus. So saying that, I want to include everybody in my sound healing practice. And so that is why at this time I have opted to not utilize a gong. There's a whole nother level of responsibility that I am not ready for. I don't want to use a gong. They're wonderful. Other people are practiced in them. I am not there yet. Will I ever be there? I don't know. I'm not drawn to it. We play with passion with what we're drawn to, and while they're gorgeous, would I like to have one just to see? Yes, it would be, but it's kind of, you know, futile for me because I'm not probably going to use it. The other thing that I do not have, and this is right up Miss K's alley, is tuning forks. Tuning forks are amazing, but I don't have them at this time because my practice is more hands-off. Now that's different for a Reiki session, but then I'm doing Reiki and I'm not incorporating other tools. I just am incorporating my energy. Where with tuning forks, yes, you can play them and so forth. I am not ready to use them. Miss K is. I love it when she uses the tuning fork on me. I am not ready to learn that skill. It is a frequency that I do not want to use yet. And yes, gongs can be startling. Yeah, and you're supposed to smooth the person into the session, not reactivate something. So thank you for weighing in on that. It is true. So with that, the tuning forks I do not have at this time, but Miss K can, and she is magical with them. So I definitely encourage you to go and see Miss K if you are interested in the tuning forks. So with that, we're gonna pause here for a second. I'm gonna walk around the table and show you what else I do have, okay? So give me a second, because it takes a moment. All right, so here I am, walking around the table. I have so many things to show you, it's so much fun. This session is probably gonna run over, don't be surprised. Okay, so what have we got to start with? Chimes, so many chimes. Koshi chimes, Zephyr chimes, and musical chimes. As you guys see here, this is a 32 musical chime set. These are great for clearing energies, ending meditations. They can be sharp, they can be subtle depending on what they bring. So I went one way, I can go the other way. They're fantastic. I love these. They add dimension, they bring in magic, they bring in imagery, right? So then you have something called a Zephyr. That's what these are. They're from France. Or a Koshi, which is the wooden ones. And you can see they're different notes, and you can swirl them one way or the other. Mine like to go clockwise. And I actually have another one here. Ooh, bonga, 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 bonga. Here you go. And then I'm calling this a chime for this purpose. It is my crystal, it's little itty bitty. I had a bigger one, I broke it. And then today I just broke the striker for it, which I didn't like it anyways. It was tucked away. I was gonna bring it for this session, but I didn't like it. So you can hear, it is very sharp. So I'm keeping this one in the chime session, and I'm just being careful. This is actually for this. I don't love this for my chimes. I don't like hands-on. I like to touch it. So that's what that is. So, and then you can swirl the vibration around. You can start a session with it. You can end a session with it. It's a baby chime. So this is one that I like to use in my chime session. If I do use it in the middle of a session, I will typically use one of my wands to soften the sound of it. Again, I'm trying not to startle you guys. So next we have rattles, it's a tongue twister, rain sticks, and ocean drums. Okay, so I have a sacred rattle. I've used this on my hikes. When we do a sound bath, Miss Kay gave me this sacred little rattle. We've got that. We've got a rain stick, which I don't love this rain stick. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's short. I don't use it that often in the studio. I will take this out on hikes because of the nature sound. If I do use it in the studio, again, I'm using it as more of like a shake tool. So that's what I use in the shop, my rain stick. The other item that I have is, this was my first, it was labeled as an ocean drum. It's more of a rain drum. And this is handcrafted in the UK. It's a tree of life. I absolutely love it. It's more like rain on a tin roof. I need to use her a little bit more. She's delicate and you have to be careful with her. So I have this as well. And then finally, you guys love her, my ocean drum. Ooh. And she just brings in all of the elements. So these are great for elemental balancing, air, water, oh yeah, earth. You hear that? Just amazing. Okay, so we've got that. I'm just keeping an eye on the time and I can't see. Okay, next I have my monochord, and she doesn't come out very often just because I need to get better with her. Okay, so a monochord is a vessel for release. It is a gentle strumming. You can hear it. I can hold her up against me. It is an ancient stringed instrument, and that produces a continuous monochord, soothing drone, rich in overtones. Can you hear that? I don't know if you guys can hear that. When incorporated into a sound bath, it is gentle resonance, creates a vibrational bed of support, emotionally, physically, energetically, and whether played near the body, as I said, or as an aspect of the overall soundscape, just to kind of give you some dimension, the monochord invites the nervous system to soften the breath, ooh, listen, deepen the mind to let go. Its harmonic frequencies create a sense of spaciousness and stillness, helping participants to move beyond mental chatter and into a deep state of release. I do have a little slide here, like I'm a DJ. I don't utilize this a whole lot just because I'm still working with her. And again, there's a lot of instruments that I practice, so trying to get it all incorporated can be challenging at times. And she's actually tuned to D minor, and that goes along with my main bowl set that is quantum healing. That is why I got her tuned to that. Okay, next, shamanic drums, handpans, bongos, all of these things, they signify heartbeat rhythm. So here's a shamanic drum, and I have a little drum. You guys have heard me play this. She's on a vibrational handle here that allows her to bounce. Bounce, baby, bounce. Yeah. Signifying that heartbeat, a single pattern. So that's one piece that I have. I have my tongue drum here. I love my tongue drum. I don't play her as often as I like to too, because I kind of have to get into it. So my tongue drum, she's fantastic. Another tool that I have. I recently acquired two, oh, check this out, little bongos. Yeah, and you can hear this is more of an echoey. It has more of a bounce. So one tool. The second tool, this one is another bongo, but you'll hear this is a denser. We're going to go around the studio and play these one day. You guys just need to come, and we're just going to rock out. It's going to be fun. A little denser sound, like you hear, it's not as echoey. So another tool that I use. And then finally, yay, my newest one, which you guys saw me unwrap it, and I've been learning some different things. My hand pan, and it's a little harder. Single things, learning chords. Obviously, this is not the way I play her. She should go on my lap, but there she is. Okay, so the tools in my arsenal. let's move on to the nitty-gritty now, shall we? Where am I in time check? Oh, yeah, we're a little bit past, but that's okay because I wanted to bring this. I wanted to do this for a really long time. And I just haven't had a chance, and I thought this is a great break before we roll back into August and get back into the healing and nitty-gritty. So what brought me to sound was I heard my first sound bath. I thought I was going to hate it after the end of a yin session. And I don't like the stove running, the fan that runs over the stove. It's like right on my frequency. It makes me crazy. I'm like, shut it off, shut it off. So I'm like, okay, I need to research this. So in June of 22, I bought this sucker right here. This is a solar plexus bowl. I meditate. We women have issues with confidence. So this was the first bowl that I bought. And she is tuned to 440 hertz. That makes a difference. We will put a pin in it. Then I bought this bowl here, which is a heart chakra bowl. She is also supposed to be tuned to 440. That is another story. Put a pin in it. We're going to return to that. And then I bought this bowl, which is a throat chakra bowl. She is tuned to 432. That makes a difference. Put a pin in it. So those were my first bowls, and then I took my class. So knowing what I know now, and I say this with peace and love, not any one bowl is better than another, but all bowls are not created equal. I'm going to say it again. Not all bowls are created equal. They do different things. They have different balances, properties, materials, notes, frequencies. All of these things come into play when I'm playing a sound bath. Okay? So, for instance, like I said, the frequencies. I have 440, 432, I have 528. This sucker that I just talked to you about, she's supposed to be tuned to 440. Guess what? She is not. She is tuned to 400. And you can't play these three bowls together, bonging them. And I say bonging, which is basically striking. Let me show you, because real quick, I have three different tools here. I like to use the silicone wand. This is a suede wand, solid. This is a suede wand, hollow. I don't like the suede. I don't like the dragging. It sets my teeth on it. Some people love that sound. I don't love it. I do use this to chime because it brings in a softer chime, but I prefer the silicone. Now, I'm going to use the suede hollow so you guys can hear this. As I said, this is 432. Now, if I swirl them, you can't tell as much. But if you're trained musically, you're going to be like, that's wonky, okay? For the 432, a G, note of the throat of the note, note of the throat. 440. Hear how pitchy they are? They're completely different, completely different. So I'm not going to play these two together. I'm not going to chime them because they create imbalance. This is a 440. This is a true 440. F, your heart chakra. This, heart chakra, supposed to be 440. Do they sound alike? They should be. They're of the fourth octave. They're not the same. You can't play them together, okay? See that variance there? There makes a difference when you get to the frequencies. I learned this, but I bought mixed bowls because back then I didn't know. Who knew? So I want to tell you, a lot of people are like, can you help me buy bowls? Absolutely. Reach out to me. I love to talk this stuff. I am a nerd. We already talked about that. I want you to know that some companies mass produce these bowls, and while they're beautiful, as you see here, my bowls are beautiful, they may be disharmonious. I can't say that word. Don't make me say it again. Or mixed improperly. And what happens with that, it can cause confusion and actually discomfort in the body. So be wary. They do sell them in sets of 440, but make sure you're getting, you can download an app called T1 Tuner, and you can check the frequency. That brings me to another thing. We'll get into that in just a moment about materials and some of the bowls you see out there. Okay, so we're talking about frequency. Notes. We talk about notes. There are natural notes, which are your heart chakras, And then there are sharps. We don't acknowledge flats, although I get it. Some sharps and flats are basically the same note, just how they lay out. I get it. But in sound healing, we talk about natural notes, which is your chakras, and then we talk about sharps. And sharps get into the endocrine system. They get into, they affect your adrenal glands, your pineal glands, your thyroid. They get into the nitty-gritty of your system, and that's where they affect your cells at that level, okay? So there's also scents. Scents help to create binaural beats. So I have a couple bowls here that I want to show you. A binaural beat creates this wah, 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 wah. I know, it sounds just like it. It's uncanny. So this here is a G sharp. You hear that? I have one here. That is a G sharp. When you bong them, they sound a little bit different, but when you swirl them, I have a G sharp, and the sense when you play them and swirl them, do you hear that sound? That is a binaural beat, and that helps get in deeper. And this is called a physician bell, right? So I have another one. This is a D sharp, and I play this all the time. When you swirl it, and I have a D sharp here, and I play them together, it creates this binaural sound that is magical and helps heal. So those are just two examples. Now, swirling techniques. As I said, swirling, you heard the difference. If you swirl clockwise, you're pulling in energy. Some bowls like to be swirled clockwise. Some like to be swirled counterclockwise, which sends energy out. So that matters. When I play my bowls, I learn which bowls like what, because they are temperamental. These are a part of me. These are my tools. Sizes. Yes, the sizes. Okay, so a bigger bowl, like this big mamma jamma here, this is a 12-inch. It is grounding, okay? They have a lower pitch. If you're saying stuff, guys, I'm sorry, I can't see you because I'm blind anyways, but I'll catch up with you later. I can't wait to read your comments. This 12-inch bowl is great for grounding, a rich lower pitch. They help bring the body into calm. They slow the breath. They slow the heart rate. The smaller bowls, such as this 6-inch bowl, they lift and clarify and bring in incense. Listen to that. They're higher pitch and they refine the field, so to speak. And some people don't like this. And usually this is a G sharp. And so they're like, this means you have something you need to work on, okay? So these are precision, like music has a bass and a melody. That's where we experience and the intuition comes in of how we play. You just don't come out the gate fast with a higher pitched bowl. Usually where you play them in a session, this is what leads us to the next topic, that matters. So if you're doing a chakra session, I'm going to start at the base chakras and work my way up because we want you to drop first. We want you to be calm. We want you to be smooth. We want your heart rate to drop. We want your breath to drop. So I play the bigger bowls, which is typically a root bowl, like that big mamma jamma I just showed you. That is a C. So it's C, D for sacral, E for solar plexus, F for heart, G for throat, A for third eye, B for crown, okay? So I'm working my way up, and as you work your way up, the bowls do tend to get a little bit smaller, a little bit faster, bringing in intuition, bringing in enlightenment. So where you play them matters. Also, you're not going to come out the gate with a high-pitched bowl. You're going to be like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I want to drop you first. Also, excuse me, coming out the gate with the binaural beat that I just showed you, that happens later. So usually 5 to 7 minutes into a sound bath, I will wait before I start integrating the higher pitched or tonal or frequency bowls there, and then the binaural beats will come in a little bit later. I want to slowly integrate them in. Some of my bowls, like this one that I showed you earlier, it actually can play a binaural beat in itself, which is actually unusual for a frosted bowl because they tend to be more single tonal. So let's talk about that a little bit. All right, give me a second here, just making sure I'm hitting everything. So the materials. I talked to you guys, we're gonna go into the frosted because that's what you mostly see. I got this little pinger right here. This is what I would take with me when I was traveling and wanted to meditate, because obviously these are inconvenient to bring through an airport. So this went nicely in my suitcase. Tibetan bowls, I don't mess with them, because if you have a pacemaker, one, they're absolutely beautiful, but they're expensive, okay? They say, I've heard this statistic, out of every 20 Tibetan bowls that are made, 19 fail. So just imagine the complexity of picking out one and being able to get them. They're gonna be expensive. So I don't mess with them. Also, you tend to place them on people. And just like the tuning forks, if you have somebody with a pacemaker, no, 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 no. Frequency, hertz, pacemaker, no. So I don't mess with that. Also, what I wanted to come back to earlier, I mentioned, if you buy these on the Amazon, okay, watch what you get. I bought my son a set, and it said that it was accurate. I took out my T1 tuner. It was not. If you buy them from someplace and they say that they're tonally accurate, if they're saying the notes are accurate in accordance with the chakras, I have tested them out, and 9 times out of 10 they are not. Again, T1 tuner, it is a free app. The green bowl should play the note of F, right? The yellow bowl should play the note of E. And these people are saying they're accurate and they are not. So again, if you have questions, I'm happy to kind of say, okay, download T1 Tuner, play the yellow bowl. If it's an E, you got it. Boom, it's accurate and not, okay? So these are like the metal little Tibetan bowls. Okay, the frosted quartz crystal bowls. We are way over, and I have a sound bath tonight. They're made from 99% crushed crystals. And they're heavier and they're thicker and they're great for children's sound baths, and I play them for that. They have an opaque finish. They're usually larger in size. They range from 8 inches to 18 inches, typically single note and lower pitched. What they do well, they're great for grounding, especially playing in large groups. They provide a strong vibrational resonance and experience that can physically be felt everywhere. They're more affordable. And as you guys see, they're more accessible. And they're great for entry-level practitioners. The limitations, less tonal resonance, so they're not as refined. They're often loud. They can be overwhelming, and they can be overstimulating for trauma clients if they're not playing them quietly. Or they can dysregulate sensitive systems if not using care, okay? They leave a less energetic footprint. They're beautiful, but for general purpose. Frosted bowls are like the bass drum of sound healing. They're powerful, they're grounding, and they're straightforward. But they don't offer the same subtlety as maybe like the alchemy bowls do, or the same energetic specificity as the alchemy bowls. So the alchemy bowls, this is the last thing I promise. The alchemy bowls I use, that's these little jiggers here. I love them, okay? They are also, they're made with specific minerals. They're made with specific metals and crystalline structures, and they are 99.99% pure crystal, try that again, pure quartz fused bowls with precious metals and gemstones, like rose quartz, moldavite bowls, platinum rose, gold rose. This one's Tibetan copper quartz. This one's Egyptian blue. This one here is my grandfather gold. I have an ebony gold. I have a charcoal bowl. And so they're translucent. They're iridescent. They offer a soft shimmer of color. Each bowl has a unique energetic footprint. They all are a little bit different. And it's based because of the material that make them up. Typically they're a little bit smaller. You know, you can get 12-inch bowls that are like the big one. I have one here. This one is a 9-inch bowl right here. I do have a 10, but when you start getting into the bigger ones, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? So you can see them, but not as often. What they do well, they layer the frequencies a little bit better than the frosted quartz crystals. They are great for emotional, energetic, and spiritual healing work. And they do deep, subtle entrainments into the body for your chakras, your auras, intuition. They're ideal for personalized healing. Mine were specifically made, they're called quantum healing. I had them specifically made to work with people that are suffering from addiction issues, cancer patients. That's why I had my bowls made. Specifically, I knew who I wanted to work with. Okay, that makes a difference too. It's really great for personalized healing, for trauma-informed practices, deep meditation, holding energetic intention, holding intentions a little more beautifully, more subtly, more impactfully. I don't know if that's a word. And they can be charged and programmed, just like your crystals can, because that's what they're made of. What are their limitations? They're more delicate. They're more expensive. They require a little more skill because they swirl like simple swirls. You saw I really had to go to get the frosted quartz crystals going. Look at this. So to get this going, look how many swirls, right? Look at this one. A single swirl, a little tap and a swirl. They resonate a little more, they resonate strongly. They'll play by themselves. Sometimes if there's a vibration that happens and they're on a shelf, they'll play by themselves. They're very, very intuitive. If I don't play them in a while, they kind of revolt against me. I'm not kidding. That's another story for another time. So they are about depth, not volume. So larger groups, sometimes they have a little issue if you don't have speakers. They're not meant to fill a whole big room, to be honest with you. They are like fine medical instruments. They're calibrated, they're intentional, and deeply resonant. And they don't really just create sound. They carry memory. They carry meaning. And they don't over-empower the space. They invite you in calmly, subtly. So with that is where I am today. So next week, after talking about all of this stuff, I'm going to bring you a sound bath. Chink-a-ching, right? Here we go. Sorry. So, each of these instruments, as I have shown to you today, in a very abridged and talking very fast form, and I'm still way over today, and I do apologize. Thank you for sticking with me. They hold vibration, just like you do. Again, we're energy. Some calm the mind. Some shake loose the grief. I get a lot of people that just something releases and it opens them up. Some whisper the truth to your soul that your soul has been waiting to hear. Healing should never be a one-size-fits-all. That's what I'm here to educate you guys in who your healer should be. Maybe it's not me. Maybe it's the person down the street. We're all here to help you, but being informed is what I'm hoping to teach you today, helping you be informed in what to look for. All sound should never be forced into anyone's energy. It should be subtle, it should be inviting, it should be calming. My whole role is to offer a safe space here, rooted in deep study, rooted in reverence and respect for this work. And most of all, respect for you guys. I want to treat each of you as an individual because our problems, while similar, are never identical. And so I spend time with you and I bring you the bowls that you need during your study. I play the bowls that you need during your session. So I hope this was helpful. It will be on YouTube. You can rewatch it in the mess that I am. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A couple announcements. Go to Mind Body to sign up for sound healing. There's a gentle flow yoga session, 75 minutes. I play the bowls. Tomorrow there's still plenty of space. virtual yoga nidra session. I need to talk to you, Stephanie. I wanted to know how it goes. You can purchase the session, and hopefully I worked out all of the bugs with that. There's a trial on YouTube, so if you're not sure what yoga nidra is, you can give it a shot. It's available by 7 p.m. on Friday, and I'm on that, and it's better, and I'm figuring it out. Yin yoga on Saturday from 9:30 to 10:45, also with a sound bath. And then there is a free youth sound bath, because I play for kids as well, 11:15 to 11:45, and I'm saying free. You want to know why? Because this Saturday is Christmas in July for the local retail association. All crystals are 50% off, as are all candles. So if you have a young one and they need some help with calming and soothing, free sound bath this Saturday for your kids. I'll be playing the frosted quartz crystal bowls for them. And finally, tank tops are on sale, $18. I got them. They're wonderful. I love them. 2 styles, one with just the logo or one that says I'm get my meditation on at Mangadas. So thanks again, guys. Remember, vitality through vibration. That is my specialty. That is my passion. That is what I do. Reach out if you have any questions. I got to walk around this table to sign off, so hold on. Hold on. I did it. I got it done. It was 41 minutes. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next Wednesday. And I'm going to play a sound bath for you, playing all of these. Woo, that's happening. All right. Bye, everyone.